A payment of $7 million has been made to PTSC for the maxi taxis responsible for the transportation of primary and secondary school students. Minister of Education Anthony Garcia said $1 million was paid last week and $6 million was made available today.
I've been told by our Permanent Secretary that later this week the remaining sum will be paid so that all the outstanding sums will be paid to the maxi taxi drivers. And I wanted to make this point last night to avert any situation where some of our children will have had difficulties in attending school.
It was reported that 36,000 school children were affected this morning as 350 school bus drivers around Trinidad and Tobago took protest action after not being paid for months. The drivers made it clear that they would not be transporting children to school until payments were in their accounts. Chief Education Officer Harry Lal Sichuran said the action did not drastically affect the transportation of students.
10 reports of 10 primary schools which were impacted to some extent, and 14 secondary schools. Now, this didn't disrupt the opening of the school. We've had instances where it was reported to us where there were several providers, maxi taxi concessionaires, some of them doubled up. In other words, where they might have made 2 trips, they made more than 2. So overall, we had 10 primary schools and 14 secondary schools that were negatively impacted.
Meanwhile, Minister Garcia said he did not have a problem with any group of workers withholding services because it was their right.
Remember that we must not use our children as pawns. This situation was on the brink of being settled. And I take objections, strong objections, when our students are being used as pawns. I represented Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association for a period of 13 years, and not for one moment did we use our children as pawns.
Minister Garcia said he tried to get in touch with the Maxi Taxi Association president in charge of transporting children, but he refused to enter into any discussions with him. He also told the media that he was contacted by a member of the association who advised him to launch an audit into the school transport as there were a number of ghost drivers. Also raised at the Education Ministry's press conference were rumors that there would be some problems with the school feeding program this term. Chief Executive Officer of the National Schools Dietary Limited, Stacey Barron, dismissed the rumors and said all 75 contractors were ready for the reopening of the September-December school term.
Used 57,559 breakfast meals and 86,392 lunches today. We sincerely want to thank our caterers, chairman, board of directors, and staff of the NSDSL for their unwavering commitment and dedication to our nation's children. As reported recently by our minister, we are working tirelessly in terms of meeting the outstanding debts. As of Friday, the 1st of September, we did in fact start payments